Hello and welcome back. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the videos. In today's video, I'm convinced my DM wants to run a different genre of game every arc and I'm finding it hilarious. Each arc has a gimmick, but gimmicks with effort put into them. First arc we had was a murder mystery where the murder mystery was optional. We were given a magic sword that was really good compared to our levels, but we could only swing it once per time we arrived at a truth of the game. So we had to solve the murder mystery if we wanted to be able to use it, and the area's boss, which we knew about way ahead of time, was really strong, so solving the murder mystery helped. We got given the opportunity to just ignore the boss or try to use the terrain to beat him. We ended up partially solving the murder mystery and having a normal fight with the rest. Then the dying enemy told us the final truth of the murder mystery, which we could have solved if we thought about it, like it was an actual puzzle, so it wasn't a matter of rolling better, we should just have thought it through better lol. Super fun arc. Second arc we had to meet with a king in order to kill him and seat his long-lost twin brother in power pretending to be the old king. To meet him in private, we found out that there was a tournament of this fantasy sport and that the winners got to have a semi-private, a few guards, but isolated location, with the king. So we had to join a blitzball, Blood Bowl type tournament. Our DM made a rule set plus a battle map to work it out with us and become sports champions to meet with the king. One player didn't want to play sports, so he tried to just sneak into the castle. DM totally let him do it too and didn't railroad us into the sports plot despite the effort he put into it. Rest of us thought it was too rad to pass though. Eventually, we won the game, killed the king, replaced him with the fake, and released the rogue who got captured because he did some really dumb shit trying to sneak in. Third arc we arrived at a small, walled town in a mission to find out why all kids in the village had gone missing. We met with the client. I actually evacuated all the kids. They are immune to this curse, but no one else here is. In 7 days they'll turn into uncontrollable beasts. You have to kill all of them and not let a single one escape. We got given a full 3D map of the city to explore so we could think of where to stage our stand, spend the 7 days preparing traps and everything, locking the gates so no one could escape. Got to know exactly how many people were in the village, 177 people, I won't forget that goddamn number, and then it turned into a tower defense game and it was really fun. Seeing things like the makeshift traps we made 2 sessions before get triggered in the final battle was really fun. Fourth arc, we were given the mission to sink one ship that had illegal contraband in it, but the fleet had 4 ships. We got to travel across ships, investigate, then suddenly it became a fantasy thriller where the villain was trying to move the contraband from one ship to another and we had to track him down then have a rad fight during a storm. Fifth and final arc so far, we're starting the 6th arc tomorrow and I have no idea what to expect. We had a survival race across a desert that was supposed to take 30 in-game days, where there was a giant battle map to account for how far we each traveled, and we had enough info to know what everyone else's max distance traveled during each day would be. So we would do things like, okay, Werlo the Warlock, not the actual name lol, had the ability to get to here at most, but that's assuming they didn't have to stop for food. If they did, and also, okay, if we let this guy go ahead of us, he'll fight the other guys and we can walk ahead of them. It became this wacky race that had some great fights, character development, and if the DM fudged the dice rolls for the other racers, he did it in a way that despite all the hard info available to us it still fell within our expectations and we never figured it out. We also got to ride a dinosaur for the second half of the race, which was rad. Point is, this is the first campaign I played in where the DM went out of his way to make every arc really fucking different from the last one in both tone and gameplay. I imagine it would probably annoy the hell out of some people, but it really gels with our party because we never stay bored or thinking that the gameplay is repetitive. Even our famed murder hobos stopped being murder hobos because they were having too much fun with the gimmicks. Definitely not a game for everyone, but it was something we requested during session 0, so we were super down with it. We were expecting more along the lines of random logic puzzles instead of, I made a 3D map of a city, you have 7 days to turn it into a fucking trap, and, I just made a blitzball analog type game, this is your sports arc you motherfuckers. Dude really went the extra mile and I appreciate it. Have you guys played games with weird gimmicks for an arc segment before? Curious about those, because so far I had only played the you get a quest, go kill bad guy types of games and this one has been blowing my mind. Bruh, your DM sounds like a maniac genius. They obviously put a lot of work into making sure you and your party have fun, that's amazing. Be sure to tell them you're enjoying the game. I can say as a DM that nothing feels better than being told by your players that your ideas are cool. Hope the next arc is as crazy fun as the other ones. Your DM is a hero, never let them go unrewarded. Yeah, in all seriousness, get your DM something nice, doesn't have to be pricey. But you know, a new pen or a dice set with a "thank you for being a great and fun guy to play with" kinda note. People like positive feedback, share the love. Wow, from the sound of it you have a real S-tier DM. They pull off all the stuff I wish I could do. Seriously, the number of DMs who could even attempt to pull this off, let alone actually pull it off seemingly this well, is a short fucking list, and mostly made up of literal professionals. Whoever this person is, they're incredible. He's honestly really good. He's a 3D artist for his day job and he has a novel coming out soon, so he's sort of a professional at this, I suppose, but it's actually his first time DMing. So there were a few rules-related hiccups the first few sessions, but they got smoothed out really quickly, plus nobody at the table trying to take advantage of any mistakes. And when he opened next session with, "Yo, my bad, fucked this one thing up, we're playing with it, changed now," everyone just went, "Yay, no probs man." So he leveled up as a DM really fucking quickly. He also used to stutter a bit coming up with descriptions and dialogue, but he got much better at improv, and for longer descriptions he started writing long paragraphs ahead of time so he has a good frame of reference for it. Honestly, really happy with this campaign. Also fun that he's running the same setting-ish with a different group as well, and he will occasionally tell us about how differently we both tackled the same plot. The other group went balls out in solving the murder mystery, for example, and so on. Can you please pull your GM into here and let him share with spoilers all his preparation work and stuff? I asked him about it and he's super down for sharing notes. He just wants to wait a little bit since apparently his prep work involves stuff we never found out and that is still relevant for the next 2/3 sessions. He said he's absolutely down after that though. No matter how good, no DM has ever made me feel inadequate in my own DMing, not Perkins, not Mercer, not Mulligan, not Colville. This one makes me feel like I should step up my game though. If you haven't, I'd recommend the Adventure Zone podcasts, 3 brothers and father playing D&D. The first campaign is a lot like the op describes, new gimmicks for each arc. Did you also have a bottle episode where you just have your party role-playing with each other and no battles or NPC story interference? Not yet, but I like to think he's going to make us do that if he ever forgets to prep. I pity us if that happens because we are collectively rather shit at role-playing with no interference to help us. Edit, we did have a full improv day when half our party couldn't make it, which we found out after we got there, so he ran a one-off with 0 prep. Literally printed off random character sheets with an online generator, took a fucking swing of rum, then went, "Alright, so, it's a heist. Tell me about your crew." Don't think it quite reaches bottle episode though, lol. I recently finished my home game campaign spanning about 3 years worth of weekly, bi-weekly sessions. I had 5 players, and each of them had an arc, questline tailored to them as a player and a bit to their character. Spanned levels 8 to 13, with a level being given out upon completion. First was high adventure steampunk on Lantern, killer robots, sniper rifles and stupid gnome inventions galore. Second was a vampiric invasion of Everesca, where they had to rally the local elves and fight back against the vampiric invaders. Moving and planning during the day, hiding during the night. Third was a murder mystery in Cormier, where their noble host was murdered and the party was framed. They had to solve the murder whilst being pursued by the city guard. Fourth was a sort of Fallout 1/2 inspired map trek in a barren wasteland with food and water supply mechanics. Limited vision on the grid world map, discovering points of interests and using the locals to narrow down their intended target. There, they were faced with a town that relied upon an imprisoned and tortured dragon to live. Last, they went to Myth Draenor and had to get involved in political infighting, with 5 different political candidates vying for control of the nation. They had to choose and support a political candidate, help them against their rivals and uncover the conspiracies behind the scenes. All these questlines lasted between 1 and 4 sessions. Was very fun to do something different almost on a weekly basis. Looking bad, I wish I had spent more time on some of them and let them simmer a bit more. Really delve into some of the aspects, but alas, the campaign had to go on, and this wasn't really the main focus of the campaign.